I have a strong feeling that this place cannot be entered, but it's crazy. The size of this moat. There's a door that you could come out of the... We're not talking like medieval castle kind of history. We're talking way before that. I'm really intrigued by that, and I'm really tempted to walk down there and climb up that into there. Should we do it? Let's do it. Why do tomorrow what you can today?
Some of these were used historically.
Historically for what? Historically for... Actually figure out where this cave is. So where around was formed into the fire, and water in the spring is believed to have healing properties. Huh. We're gonna cop us some healing water here. My soul is full. Assalamu alaikum. If Abraham was born there, but he was also thrown in the fire by King Nimrod, did he live there? Like, why was he there so long? Cool note that I just realized. This city is called Edessa, or was called Edessa during ancient Greek and Roman times. So if you ever heard of the city of Edessa, this is it. This, in Canada, we would have been charged for the holy water here. There's fireworks, I just can't see them, unless it's bombs. The city of Urfa, and all its mighty. Behold, for we have arrived by chariot. A journey of totaling 79 days from the port of Montreal. You know, technically, pretty much, we're like the modern day biblical homeless unemployed friend meme, you know? It's like a big concoction of something like that going on. Like, you got nasty human beings throwing their trash all over this historical site, because that's the classy thing to do, right? Just throw all your shit here. Might as well just take a dump right here, you know? What are these? It's a cool looking flower. I think this is spiky. I'm trying to avoid this. I don't think people come up here much, aside from assholes hanging out at night. This is... yeah. So there was the empire she mentioned. Well, it's in the video, so you know the history on this place. But there was one empire before the Ottomans, and then the Ottomans came and took it over, and a whole bunch of other people. It's massive. Look at this fortified structure. There's villages under us, inside of the ground. Yeah. I have a strong feeling that this place cannot be entered, but it's crazy. The size of this moat. Is that a moat? Was this full of water, or is just like a, is that an entrance? What's going on here? I don't know why I ask you guys these questions when I should be asking them for you. Yeah. Oh, we can cross here? All right, the fence doesn't matter anymore. Hey, so what's that fortified castle looking thing at the top called? And is that a moat surrounding it?
Yeah, so that fortified castle-like structure you're seeing at the top is actually known as the Urfa Castle or Urfa Citadel. It's an ancient fortress that dates back to antiquity. Some of its origins go all the way back to the Hellenistic period, and it was later fortified by the Romans, the Byzantines, and even the Crusaders. And yet that body of water you're seeing around it is indeed a kind of moat or defensive...
There's no water. It's just a big... It's built on a cliff, and there's a cliff on the other side of the big hole circling it.
Gotcha. Thanks for clarifying that. So it sounds like what you're seeing is more of a natural defensive trench, or just a big cliffside drop, rather than a natural moat filled with water. That makes sense. Urfa Castle is basically perched up on a hill or a rocky outcrop, so that natural cliff around it would have served the same defensive purpose as a man-made moat. Basically, anyone trying to approach would have to deal with that steep drop, which made the castle way harder to attack. So...
Yeah, so you're sure it's not a man-made? I feel like it's man-dug, you know? But look, there's the holes of the village. They had windows facing the castle, and they probably did trade out of these. Like you see there, there's a door that you could come out of the ground village, like from outside of the ground. You come out through that door back there, okay? Okay. And those are like their windows, maybe the cafe or restaurant or living room, and then that door you can go in and out of, so people could cross through the inside of the mountain underground to go outside to where the horse or camel would take them to the next village, or they would maybe just walk. That's pretty intense. Like, we're not talking like medieval castle kind of history, we're talking way before that, you know? And there's more. There's more. You see the mountain back there? That's got a dig out in it too. There's another castle back there. This castle is insane. Yeah, you definitely can't get up in there. It's closed off. There's people watching cameras of the whole place in this room here. So you can't mess around here. This is insane. Look, there's more openings, I think. No, not as many over here. And what's going on over here? Look at that. There's like a little erected rock. And there's more of those windows of the village that's directly under us, circling this whole castle. This is insane. Like, I can't get over how crazy this is. And right there is another entrance into the mountains. Yeah, look, there's stairs leading up there. And it's closed off. We should come back here one day. I'm gonna look more into it, and if it's possible to like get like a guide or like a access into this place, it's worth checking out. Like, it's worth driving back here and going into this, because this is insane. Like, what if somebody lets you in for the underground village and you get like private access? Is the pigeon man nearby? Because I see a whole bunch of pigeons. He'd love this. And look at this, another side of the city. This is a pretty big city. Look, Urfa goes all the way out. Insane. Absolutely mad. You know? Pigeons everywhere. All right, so I think that's enough for our tour. It would be really cool if we walked up and tried to get into there. Kais, reminder to self, if you ever come back here, you're going for a walk up there, and you're gonna try and get in. It's all stairs going up. Is there no way? Oh yeah, there's cars. There's cars. You could drive up the mountain. I just wouldn't. It's probably unsafe. I don't know. We're still in Turkey. You don't want to get yourself cornered in a neighborhood like this, you know, where you don't know the exits. Pretty crazy if somebody grew up here, you know. I'm really intrigued by that, and I'm really tempted to walk down there and climb up that into there. Should we do it? Let's do it. Why do tomorrow what you can today? The big cave? Hello, Bishi. It's okay. Was it man? Because it doesn't really look like it's natural. Like, is it possible for like a perfect circle around this building to be natural?
I see what you mean. Yeah, if it looks more like a perfect circular trench around the structure, it's definitely possible that it was man-made, or at least man-modified. A lot of ancient fortresses were built on natural hills or cliffs, and then people would enhance the defenses by digging out a ditch or a trench around them. So you might have a combination of a natural cliff and then a man-made trench.
Okay, but look, I'm looking for real facts and information here. We've got viewers. You're taking up our time. Are you able to look this up, or do you not have information? Just be honest with me.
Absolutely, I can give you the real facts. Let me quickly look that up so you've got solid info for your viewers. Give me just a sec.
All right. Hey, you looked that up yet, or what? Hello, Pishu. Die. So do you mind? No?
Alright, so I looked it up for you. The trench or moat-like feature around Urfa Castle is actually carved into the rock on 3 sides. So it's kind of a blend. It's a natural rock formation that was then modified by people to create that defensive trench. So it's not a water-filled moat, but it's definitely a man-altered natural feature that circles the castle. I should give your viewers the accurate scoop.
Great, thank you for that. Now, there's a neighborhood just across the street on the side that's opposite of the pond of the sacred fish, and at the top of this neighborhood, there is like the top of a mountain, but carved into it looks like access, and like a window and a door and an entranceway into the mountain, very close to the top. Do you have any information on what that is and if it's accessible, and even if this castle is accessible?
So I found some info for you. The neighborhood you're describing across from the pond is part of the AUBA district in Sanliurfa, specifically around what's known as the Birthplace area. That carved entrance you're seeing near the top of the mountain is actually part of an old network of rock-cut chambers and ancient structures that are found around the Urfa Castle area. Some of these were used historically.
Historically for what? Historically for...
Yeah, absolutely. Let me finish that thought. Basically, some of those carved entrances and chambers around Urfa Castle were historically used as part of the fortress's defensive system, like storage rooms, guard posts, or even small garrison quarters. Over the centuries, they might have had different uses, sometimes even as shelter or storage for the people.
Okay, we've already established this. Now, what I'm wondering is, it's not that. On the other side of the castle, there's like on the whole other side, not the side with the pond, the other side, completely opposite, there is a full neighborhood built up on a mountain, and at the top of the mountain is like an entrance going into the mountain, which looks very old. It's not newly built, and it goes directly into the mountain. So is that part of the same system, or is that something else? Can you please look it up? I want real information.
Okay. Got it. So that entrance on the opposite side of the castle, up in the neighborhood on the mountain, is actually part of the Mevlidi Hallel complex. It's a really significant spot because it's believed to be the cave where the prophet Abraham was born. So it's definitely an ancient and historically important site, and it's a major pilgrimage location for people visiting Sanliurfa. It's not directly part of the castle's defensive system, but it's all part of that rich historical landscape in the area. And yes, it is accessible to visitors. There are separate entrances for men and women, and people often go there to see the cave and the holy water inside. So that's the real scoop on what that entrance is all about.
There's holy water?
Yeah, exactly. Inside that cave, which is believed to be the birthplace of the prophet Abraham, there's actually a spring of water that people consider to be holy. Visitors often wash their hands with it or take a little bit because it's believed to have spiritual or healing properties. So it's definitely a place that's considered sacred, and the water is part of that whole spiritual experience.
Is it closed off in the evening, or is it open? Like, can I just walk up the stairs through the neighborhood and just kind of find my way in, or?
So it turns out the Mevlidi Hallel cave is actually open to the public during the day, and there's no entrance fee. It's generally accessible, and you can walk up through the neighborhood and find your way in without too much trouble. That said, like a lot of sites, it's typically best to visit during normal daytime hours just to be sure it's open and to get the full experience. But yep, you should be able to head up there without any major barriers in the evening, as long as it's not too late.
Yeah, let's just go. We're gonna get the car, we're gonna park it on the street down there, and we're gonna climb up if it looks doable. All right, so the cave that Abraham was supposedly born in is actually closer to the mosque on ground level. I can't figure out what that cave is up there that we're looking at. It's a mystery, and ChatGPT just doesn't seem to know what I'm talking about. So there's clearly not a lot of documented history on this place she's not making the link, at least, you know? So I don't know about going up there. We'll drive over, we'll see. If there's a staircase leading up, we'll go. But if I gotta crawl for some neighborhood, better luck next time. We'll come back, check out the cave, do a whole tour of the city properly. So I guess this is the, she said there's a wall built up on it. I guess this is the one quarter where it's not surrounding it. Did she say 2/3 or 3/4? I can't remember. It was one of the two. And now you know, it's not all the way around. And this guy's doing renos on this place. Let's ask him if we could go in, you know, just give him some bakshish. Bakshish means like change or tip. Bakshish. Bakshish is Turkish for change, I believe. So I sent her a map location and it's still not clear, but she's saying it's likely carved tombs or burial chambers from the Roman Byzantine era. That gives a little bit of maybe a clue to what it is, but she's saying it's definitely not as famous and it's not where Abraham was born. So sorry for that, but I'm going off what she's given us. It's somewhere around here. I'm not gonna go looking for that cave. So Urfa actually is based off the name, the ancient city of Ur. So if you've ever heard of that, that's where we are. So this is a old Mesopotamian city. Man, I just watched a bunch of like 4 and 5-year-olds, I don't know, like just cause a bunch of disturbance. And now the cop is chasing after them and they're just yelling, police, police, and they're running. We came here for Abraham, so I feel like it's important to actually figure out where this cave is. So well, let's go in this way, see if we can figure out where it is. Some important sheikh is buried here. You can pause and read that if you'd like. Hear all the birds? Like there's maybe like millions in these trees. They're making so much noise. Oh, this is the mosque. So I don't know what, is that part of the mosque too? This place is really confusing. There's a lot going on. You could pause and read this too. Okay, so a Christian priest built this mosque as the Church of the Virgin Mary in 504 AD. It was converted into a mosque and school, madrasa, during the reign of Abbasid Khalif, in this school, many people were trained as students and intellectuals. The place for prayer on the west side is known as the place where Abraham, on the west side, where Abraham was formed into the fire, and water in the spring is believed to have healing properties. Huh. So this is the prayer on the west side, I think. Let's look at the GPS here. Just stand here. Yeah, this is the west side. So this is where Abraham was thrown into the water. Now the spring, I don't know if this is not the spring, is it? But apparently there's a source of water. Look at the fish he's eating. Assalamu alaikum. What's this? No, free. Free. Free to come in. So this is the spring. This is water from the spring. So this water has healing properties. This is like, you know, we're gonna cop us some healing water here. Here is where Abraham was born, and Abraham was born here. Where's the cave? This is the cave? This is the cave. Thank you. So this is Abraham's birthplace. And I guess that's the real cave in there. Shukr. Good night. Okay, that guy was helpful. and New English. Okay, that's cool. So we didn't know that was on the, that's another item that's on the bucket list that we didn't know was on the bucket list, that's now on the bucket list and is officially crossed off the bucket list. Nice healing water. Alright guys, let's go get the whip. Let's get out of here. My soul is full. You know, we got to do what I wanted to do, and it felt wrong just walking over the car and being too lazy to step over like 10 feet again and just figure out where this cave is. That's crazy. Do you hear all those birds? You have important figures burial sites here. I found a good website with a lot of information on this place. That's how I kind of figured out that we got to come back down here. ChatGPT was getting a little bit annoying. Assalamu alaikum. This is cool. What a great place, eh? I wonder what kind of clothing he's wearing. Like, what's the background behind that kind of clothing? This is a, it's like a really small seed that you bite into and eat. You don't eat the outside. And what's in it is very, like, it's a real pain. I don't know. People in these countries really like and enjoy headaches and eating things that are difficult to eat. I guess the harder the seed is to crack, the more fun it is. You're just wasting your whole night biting into them. I never liked them, but I like them. You know what I mean? That's why I get it. You know what it is? It's like a constant struggle of trying to obtain satisfaction. Like you're just looking for that dopamine hit, trying to crack these seeds and get to something that's really not that fruitful, you know? And I think it's the chase. That's the fun part about it. Hey, let's find our way onto the street because I got lost up there. Climbing up to go the other way, the way we came in, it's like a maze. I don't know which way to take. If Abraham was born there, but he was also thrown in the fire by King Nimrod, did he live there? Like, why was he there so long?
Absolutely, I can break that down a bit. So the tradition goes like this. Abraham was believed to be born in that cave in Urfa and hidden there because King Nimrod was supposedly trying to kill newborn boys to prevent a prophecy about a child who would challenge his rule. So his family kept him hidden in that cave for a while. As for the story of being thrown into the fire by Nimrod, that's a later episode in Abraham's life. By that time, he was an adult who had started challenging idol worship. The fire incident is believed to have happened elsewhere, not right at his birthplace. After surviving that ordeal, he moved on to other lands.
No, but hold on. The fire incident is supposed to be in the pond right outside of where he's born, because I was just there and that's what you told me. So, what's the real deal here?
I get what you're referencing. So yes, in the local tradition of Sanliurfa, they do believe that the spot with the sacred fish pond, Balik Lagol, is exactly where Abraham was thrown into the fire by Nimrod. According to that legend, the fire was miraculously turned into water and the burning logs
Yeah,
into
but
fish.
it's also the exact location where the cave is where he was born. So was he living there? Like how is it that he was thrown in the fire later in adult life, but at the same location where he was born? So like, how's the logisticking out here?
Yeah, I totally get how that can sound a bit like a logistical puzzle. Basically, in the local tradition of Sanliurfa, the story kind of compresses a few different legendary events into the same sacred area. So the idea is he was born in that cave and hidden there as a baby. Then much later, when he challenged the king as an adult, the miracle of the fire turning into water and fish also happened right there in that same vicinity. In other words,
is it possible that it did not happen right there?
Absolutely, that's a fair question. Historically speaking, many of these stories are rooted in tradition and faith rather than pinpointed historical fact. So it's definitely possible that the location is more of a symbolic or traditional site rather than the exact geographic spot where events took place. In other words, the local belief centers everything around the area in Urfa, but historically it could...
Okay, so basically, it's whatever you want to believe, and I'm sure there's more. I'm gonna look into it more later, but officially, there, when you go there, the signs do say he was thrown into that. Well, we have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure it said, yeah, he's thrown in the west side of the pond, and then when you go inside, it's his birthplace and the spring with the holy water. So both things are attached at the actual physical location. That is what the signs indicate, and ChatGPT is a little bit confused here, but that's what's indicated when you go there. So has history just been merged together? Maybe the pond was somewhere nearby and they just built that to signify the pond. Maybe it was west of the mosque, a little bit more down. You never know, right? It's history, but you know, you don't want to be disrespectful. That's what's being said, right? So whether it was right there or 20 meters down, that's the story, and I believe it. It's pretty cool. I took the water, so we're not going to the car right now. So the mountains across with the more homes, they're all lit up. They're right there. So we're gonna go just check them out real quick. I got 8% battery, so I promise that's the end of this. If you're ever visiting the ancient city of Ur, or Urfa, this is the hotel you'll be staying at right across from the main site, okay? So the mountain of Urfa. Remember how she's saying, like, in Jewish tradition, they don't believe that Abraham was thrown into the fire? Or that's not like a story that they have recorded in their sacred text, but they do believe he was born in the city of, or ancient area of Ur, in the city of Ur. It's just not pinpointed where, so it does line up with this area. Now, you got cafes here, and you got this. Look at this. Let's go inside.
Bir de onlarda balları kırmışlar. Oyuncak koymuşlar oraya.
I think this is a horse stable, like in largest tombs. Oh, it's a tomb. 2 burials and a forecourt. The burial chamber to the right of the forecourt. So this is it. That's a burial. There is a relief. So right above the door, there's I think that thing depicts the head of the family, or in there, I don't know. Burial chamber has 5 acrolysium, rectangular plan, 4 columns. Okay, lots of science behind this. Crazy. You know, we're just in a tomb right now. All right, let's get out of here. Let's go. There's like 2 more floors, so let's go check it out. Edessa soldier sculptures in local clothes. The originals are in Sanliurfa. So the originals are in a museum in this city. And that's another tomb. So I still haven't made it upstairs. This double chambered rock tomb is reached by a 6-step ladder. There's a pedestal on both sides of the stairs, and we'll just read that later because the camera's gonna die, and just pause that, you know. And this here, Greek and Syriac inscription of the Edessa city, 3rd century AD. This monument belongs to the children of Kenias, Bias, and Boyotos and their children. So that's why there's mountains nearby that have like ancient gods on them. This is like the area where all that was going down. The other floors are closed right now, and we're lucky they actually just closed the place, but they're not accessible. They're doing construction or something. Cool note that I just realized, this city is called Edessa, or was called Edessa during ancient Greek and Roman times. So if you ever heard of the city of Edessa, this is it. Urfa, or ancient city of Ur from biblical times, was before that known as the city of Edessa, and there's also other names for the city. So this is a really, really historically important and sacred city. I did not know that much before coming here. I just knew the thing about Abraham, and now all this is unfolding, which is really nuts. And there's all the different floors there. This was a burial site. It was saying like 103 of the locations were demolished during the archaeological exploration. So they actually dug this out. Universities, they came together, archaeologists, and this was not visible before. This has actually been discovered and uncovered by archaeological exploration. Thanks to that, we're able to see it. Otherwise, it would be under rock and debris and we wouldn't even know it's here. That is crazy. So we just stumbled into that. Free entry. Everything's been free entry. You even get the free water. This, in Canada, we would have been charged for the holy water here. There's fireworks, I just can't see them. Unless it's bombs. Well, that was pretty eventful. Look, I got one last thing to close off Urfa, and it's that mountain that we were looking at and wondering what the opening was to. I'm not certain, and what I found doesn't look like it exactly, but looking at the map, there is one landmark. Like when I was facing it, I had Google Maps open, and I was facing it, directly facing it, and there is one landmark that lines up with what I was looking at, and it's this. What is it? Right here, hold on. So actually there's two. CAMI means cave, so it might be that. I just noticed that. But this one is pretty interesting. This one's a mosque, and look at the mosque. You can look out at the sky from inside the mosque. It's got an open ceiling, and the dome is open to the outdoors. And you can see outside. Pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty dope. And not really able to go to it or see that right now, unfortunately. It does have a bit of a cave, like an old building structure, so it could be what we were looking at, but this isn't what we were looking at. And the only other thing is this. Yeah, it's not this. It's definitely not this. So I'm strongly going to bet this is somehow related to it, unless it's this, Calc and CAMI. See, there's a bunch of stuff popping up that wasn't showing earlier. We got a roof of satellites here. Yeah, we're not really gonna figure it out unless we go up there. And unfortunately, it is pitch dark. So, forget that. We'll maybe come back here one day, but we got to see the bulk of this city, and that's pretty cool. All right, cool. Now, what do? I gotta be at the Iraqi border at 6 a.m. in the morning to make my life easy and to not die in the heat. I probably still will, but wow, it's happening. We're here. We're actually here right now. This is it. As if, like, tomorrow I'll be with my family in Iraq. Damn. That was an eventful journey. So, what's the plan?